Hey guys, in this one, we solved the C-pillar problem. Hey guys, welcome back to Alchemy Motorsports. Last week, we got the dorsal on the driver's side finished up to the same point we had already managed on the passenger side. However, that still meant that the C-pillars aren't finished. That's our goal for this week. Got to figure out how to really get everything built in and tied together down there against the base of that C-pillar. It's something I skipped over on the passenger side because I just didn't have any good ideas. As I've been working on the driver's side, I've had some things come to me, so I think I know what I'm going to do to get that done. We hopefully will get that done and be able to move on and get onto the wheel arch this week. If you guys missed that episode, I'll throw a link up above so that you can catch up on the work on that door sill. If you're new here and you're interested in seeing just how far we've come, check down in the description. There's a link below to the entire playlist for Project Tallhoe. As you watch your way through the video, if you like what you're seeing, remember, whack that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. Tell your friends. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. And now, it's time for some C-pillar action.
So apparently I've lost a bit of footage, but what you're about to see is the install of a panel that looks like this. This is my second one that will go on the driver's side later. But the holes are just some spot welds, and this panel is just to fill out and smooth a part of the floor pan so that I can finish off the C-pillar corner.
You know, since this will be... Oh, crap. I just hit that with my welding helmet. Since this will all be under carpeting or whatever anyway, it's probably what I should have done the entire time, is folded the entire thing over. And just done some spot welds all the way down. It probably would have been better. It's just a little fire. It'll be fine. So I've cut, cleaned, and bent up this piece. My idea being that I have this open section of rocker down here, and I don't think I want to just leave it open. So, the idea would be that this fits in. I think I've made it a bit too long though. The idea being that that fits in down in there and I can weld it in on all the sides to attach everything nice and firmly. But it's a bit too big and a bit too long. A little shorter, a little narrower. And I welded just a little handle to it so that I can actually use it and put it down in there. But, one, the dimensions are a bit off. So I am going to... Because currently
I can't get down in here to do any welding. So I think what I'm going to do is a Z shape. It'll come out maybe to here and then go down and then come over so I can weld the two together in a strip that wide. Then I can weld it to the back, but I think I'll put in maybe I'll put in a spot weld flange, I'm not sure. And then weld it on the ends. Then once I've got all of that tied together, I'll put in the piece that will go here. Or I'll figure out the piece that will go there. As I've been trying to figure out what I was going to do to connect the rocker back to the body, I've ended up going through 3 different templates of differing complexity, realizing that the KISS theory applies here. Keep it simple, stupid. So, this one wins. Those are garbage. And the basic idea is that this simply sits down in there, and I have enough space to weld along here, and then I can weld it to here. With this in place, that also leaves this corner open. So I wanted to do something about that. So I came up with this. It's got these little folds in it, and it simply tucks up in there, basically. I'll be able to weld it down the side, put some weld in here, and down the other side to get it all connected where it needs to be. Since then, I've also gone and made up this piece. I drilled those holes for some reason, but I don't need them. So this piece, the one-hander. Fits in there more or less like that. It's on a slight angle right now, which I'll fix when I actually install it. So I'll weld that in. And then I'll make another piece that will go there. And then I will make the last piece, which will follow this curve that I've now ground back. Or not that curve, I'm sorry. It will follow another curve here coming up, following this curve of the existing door frame. So, next up, getting that piece cut. And also, I've just realized I've got some grinding to do in here. I went too far on that one. Really, I only want like a 45 or so. we've got that installed down in there. And we've got this piece finished and ready for welding in here. Had to make a slice and kind of pound a dome into that to clear part of the Tahoe back in there. But we've got that all worked out. So now I should be able to weld across the face of that and across the face of the bottom and up this side and up here on that side. So I've got it pretty much all the way to where it needs to be. So I think it's time to just get that put in. Alright, so wrapping this band around that corner, looks like I get almost exactly a foot. I've just recalled that before I can mess with this piece, we've got some grinding to do right in here. I don't have enough space to get down in there. So we're gonna look at an idea that might be terrible. Yeah, that won't work. I've flipped it over, but these are facing the wrong direction now. Well, crud, flipping that thing around worked awesome. Alright, so I made up a quick template. This is 12 by 3 1/4. Well, I think that's good enough to get started, but I'm pretty sure it's going to need some trimming. I need to put a lip along here to weld in across everything. So, we cut a new piece. We're starting over. I'm going to try turning a lip up on this in a different way than I ever have before. So we're going to see how well that ends up working out. Instead of just cutting a big curved piece and welding it in and grinding it back like I have been, I'm going to actually try to turn one up by hand. This is a pretty tight curve, so there's a good chance this won't work. But that's the direction we're going to go right now. So this simple little doohickey here may give me enough to create the flange. All you're really doing is you set the sheet metal into it, and then you just start tweaking it. You know, move your way down. What is from here? I think I may need to widen that slot a bit, but you know, you move your way down to the next area, and you bend, and you just keep moving along to tweak that in. This may be too wide for this, so I may make a smaller one in order to try and turn this up. I may also just need to manually fold some tucks into this, and maybe what I'll end up doing is just some slices and then welding those slices. I'm just trying some different techniques, see what works best for me to get the results that I want. So I just made a narrower cross section. I just made a narrower cross section. Hopefully it'll go around the corner a little bit. Well, obviously, it's quite ugly right now, but I'm hoping if I can just slice through some of these bigger tucks along here, and then finish folding it all, and then I can just hammer set the flange by setting it on something and just, hammering it down. New technique, trying to figure out what I'm doing here. So I just hammered those real quick, a little bit flatter. Doesn't seem too terrible. Let's try and fit it and see how terrible it really is. Alright, first try. Let's see what happens. I could potentially cut more off this side, but really it seems like I need to move this flange farther in. So I'm going to move this piece and tip them a little bit farther. Alright, we've rolled that edge up steeper. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but here's the original line. We've rolled it quite a bit farther than that now. Alright, well obviously that cut is so badly crooked it ruins that entire corner, which sucks. But so be it, such it is. And then this comes down and leaves an open spot. I'm going to try and put a fold in there so that it rolls back. Otherwise, honestly it looks like it's fitting pretty good. Alright, so I think it's pretty good. I'm just going to have to weld something onto there and cut it back. That is what it is. Alright. End strip added. Whew, very, very warm. So while we're waiting for those welds to cool on that thing, I haven't actually cleaned the spot welds attaching these two panels together in the door sill. There's a couple on the inside here as well. And I haven't cut this down to the proper height. It's still 3/4 of an inch too tall just from how I bent it up. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on cutting all that back. Alright, got it cleaned back pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's inside of a well inside the door seal where the actual weather strip is going to go, so I am not going to throw much of a fit about that. I think it's good enough. There's one last step I need to take on this, actually, before it's ready for install. I need to drill some spot weld holes. Alright, got the spot weld holes I needed put in it. There's one for right here already in the door sill, so I'm not worried about that. So I think it's time to just get this thing installed. That is fully installed. I'll do some cleanup to it. The spot welds look absolutely terrible. You can see them there. So I've got to clean those up. For the most part, the seaming in went pretty well. So I may do just a little bit of grinding in there, but I'm not really going to do a whole lot. Overall, it looks acceptable. You know, it's not fantastic, but those are the shapes I had to deal with, so I had to come up with some way of dealing with them. So we're going to let that cool for a while. I pumped a lot of heat into it just because it's in an area where I don't really care if there's a bit of warp to it. It doesn't really matter. Alright, first coat on. We'll put another one of those coats on there and go from there. That door sill is done. It's even more done than the other side is, actually, because I got that done. But that feels really good to know that all the major rust repair on these door frames is now done. I say that, but in reality there is all of this, but I'm not considering that part of the door frame. That rust damage is part of that back panel that goes in. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with telling myself the door sill rust is now done, and that's different rust.
With the C-pillar wrapped up, that's where we're going to finish this episode. Honestly, I didn't really expect it to take all the time that it did to figure out all those pieces and get them put together properly. But it was worth the time. I may have over-engineered this. I may have gone far above and beyond what was actually necessary, filling in that corner. With the door sill actually all the way done, front to back on that driver's side, we're going to just keep pushing backward. Now it's time to get the next wheel well in. We'll get that wheel arch put in on the outside and the new quarter built just like we did on the other one. That's where we're headed next episode. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next time.